Jenkins' kick is good, and we're tied at 23 and heading for overtime as time runs out.
After 16 NFL seasons, over 1,000 receptions.
From the 31 of Carolina.
You don't know who Steve Smith is. By the end of this game, you don't know who he is.
DeLone fires to an open Smith. Steve Smith is going to go all the way. No flags down.
And Steve Smith, I mean, come on, guys, one of the greatest competitors probably any of us has ever been around.
And the Carolina Panthers win in overtime. 69-yard play.
Unbelievable.
Doesn't really matter who he's playing against.
Third down and 10. And Jake DeLone putting it up. Touchdown for Steve Smith, the hero of their earlier playoff game. Smith beat the defender Tyrone Poole, a 39-yard touchdown, the big play of this game.
So I played against Steve Smith about 6 or 7 times in my career, and every time he found a way to make a big play on me.
Well, I'll tell you what, I wouldn't want to try to stop how competitive this guy is.
Competitive arrogance, and I mean that in the greatest sense. The fight that he has inside.
You need, especially in a sport as physical as football, you need somebody feisty. You need somebody who's looking to fight.
Devontae Davis.
Oh, and he wanted to say something to Devontae Davis the worst way.
Please understand who you're listening to when you hear his soundbite. Steve Smith means what he says. This isn't some dude talking smack. He's not playing.
Last week it was Xavier Rhodes. This week it was Janoris Jenkins. What's your message to these young DBs who want to keep talking with you?
That's going to be a brawl for the next 2.5 quarters. The rest of the game, Richard Sherman and Steve Smith are going to be going at it.
He might have an altercation or two with a defensive back. That's kind of how he rolls.
Steve Smith through the 6'3". Sherman. The whizzer in there, that wrestling move.
He's John with Steve Smith here. Never a good idea. Janoris Jenkins.
Obviously, his first time ever using the internet and Google. And he Googles information about me.
Janoris Jenkins, I would be telling him if I'm his coach, look, you are not going to win this battle.
And there's a certain line you don't cross. That dude crossed that line.
He's got Janoris Jenkins thinking more about what he's going to say to Steve Smith than how he's going to cover.
Talks about my wife and stuff like that. And that's kind of some of the bull I just don't play with.
Steve Smith doesn't play that game. So he doesn't want it played with him.
Steve Smith one-on-one with Janoris Jenkins, the guy he's been John with all day long. Touchdown! And the Steve Smith show underway here. 19-yard touchdown.
So he can take his ass back to St. Louis and watch the film, because I don't play them games. And if I see him in the street, I'm going to bust him in his mouth.
Steve Smith's legacy is going to be maybe the greatest competitor in the game.
Those that had a chance to touch him, to be a part of him, are better for it.
That's some toughness there. Oh, what a game for Steve Smith.
This man at age 35 is still a little dynamo.
That's a slobber knocker, Ron.
You're not going to hurt Steve Smith, but that will look good on highlights.
Great competitor. You love his mindset, how he competes.
Lowers his shoulder and gets rocked.
The best there is as far as blocking for all the wide receivers. And they got a piece of Von Miller right there.
Michael, Aqib Talib knows he cannot take too long to get the rust off tonight. Not going up against 13-year veteran and 5-time Pro Bowl wide receiver Steve Smith.
This is going to be one heck of a battle tonight between Steve Smith and Aqib Talib, because both are talking a lot of smack.
Smith, first down Carolina at the 34 as he and Talib get started.
Being fired up.
Go at it.
Is a lot different than playing angry like I used to play. Looking for things, looking for altercation.
And it's a 15-yard flag.
And you see what Bill Belichick just did to Aqib Talib. Come over here and sit with me. That's not the Patriot way. That's not how this franchise operates. He needs to cool it. He's too good a football player. Right now, Steve Smith is getting the best of Aqib Talib.
Yeah, the problem for the Patriots is that Smith's not only winning the war of the words, he's speaking louder with his action.
It was like a 12-round prize fight.
Makes the over-the-shoulder grab. Tackling at midfield as he got behind Aqib Talib. The veteran still has it for Carolina.
Steve Smith probably got the best of this one.
Wow. You totally psychologically annihilated her.
What happened between you and Talib on the field early in the game?
I don't know. You gonna ask him because he didn't finish the game. Ice up, son. Ice up.
How about that concentration by Steve Smith and getting both feet down?
Going deep for Smith.
There's plenty of opportunities he had to quit on the Carolina Panthers, as awful as they were and what they exposed him to, not giving him a quarterback to work with. Don't get me started with Jake Delhomme and others, okay?
The Panthers have officially cut Steve Smith. Nobody knows where he's going.
I just look at them right now and I ask myself, how in God's name could you even think that getting rid of Steve Smith was a good thing for Cam Newton?
Steve Smith is just right before your very eyes getting old at age 35.
80 yards! Baltimore with its first lead on a stunning turn of events.
Points of order. Over the last 3 seasons, Steve Smith's catches, yards, decline.
If you think I can't play, you're going to find out week 4. I looked at their schedule. I didn't know what week, but I knew the Panthers were on that schedule.
On Twitter, Steve Smith said if he plays the Panthers next season,
put your goggles on because it's going to be blood and guts everywhere.
And that is why at the age of 35 can still take guys' lunch money, because he's an exceptional route runner, but more importantly, he's an elite competitor. And when I look at him, he's exactly what the Baltimore Ravens needed. He fits their mold.
And that's a characteristic Steve Smith's had his entire career. After first contact,
I do not believe that the Carolina defense will lose any sleep about how Steve Smith is going to return to wreak revenge on them.
But football's a business, we all know that. So why did you feel like that release from Panthers was so personal?
Put on your goggles because blood and guts are going to be spilled in your stadium. Is fighting Father Time.
for the touchdown by Steve Smith Sr.
This is a nail in a coffin. You're dead. Take your ass back to Carolina. Make sure you mow my lawn, too, while you're out there.
That is who Steve Smith is. That is who he has been throughout his career.
You went up against Steve Smith in your days in Tampa, and no, you're not really thrilled to see number 89 on the field.
Oh, I never liked Steve Smith. He has over 11,000. I think 3,800 came against me.
His durability has been impressive over the years. What a day he's having. 7 catches, 139 yards, 2 touchdowns.
You must have forgot who I am and what I bring to the table.
And a fight is going on in the end zone.
The show must go